better do a 1-year review of our 2019 Gehl r190. Basically, what happened was way back when I was in 4th grade, we had a 4835 Gehl skid steer, and well, those are oil cooled, so no radiator and no block heater, so we're going through quite a few starters on that. So we got a 5240 Gehl E series with a 2-speed. We really liked it, but a month after warranty, the dipstick broke in the motor, so they ended up replacing that. Well, then towards the end, we had to replace the alternator. Well, my dad figures we got the wrong one because the belts were out of alignment on it. Went through belts. We sent it over to Farmer's Implement Store to have them fix it 2 or 3 times, and basically they just pressure washed the radiator and sent it back. Still had overheating issues. So we were going to end up going through Simpson's tractor. But unfortunately, my dad wasn't approved credit. That, and we didn't want to stick him with a crappy skid steer that overheats. And the funny thing is, the day that we traded in to Farmer's Store, that guy showed up from Simpson's to look at it, and my dad talked it over with him, and well, we had to take the forks off. Well, the old E-Series had individual pins, and the one pin was frozen in the forks here, and the handle broke. So we ended up just pounding it out and giving it to him. And we picked up this nice R190. But the funny thing is, during the summer, when my grandpa's 4835 caught fire, we needed a rental. Well, they sent us out what happened to be our old skid steer. And we knew it was ours because we had a deer antler carved morel mushroom on the keychain. Also, we could tell by all the scratches and paint scraped off on it. But let's get into the review of this. Basically what I like is this model doesn't have def on it or anything. Fairly simple. There's even a battery shut off in this model. It's a 2-speed like our old one. Now they did change the pin, so in order to lock and unlock the pins, you flip this over to this side and that's unlocked, and back over and that's unlocked. That's fairly nice, but it seems like you gotta keep the grease good. Now, some things that they changed that I don't really like is our old E-Series had the step on this, but they put it on there, which is alright. The door does seem wider. Now in the cab, they switched to a dial throttle, which I'm not much of a fan of. Because our old E-Series used to have a hand throttle here that was connected to the foot throttle. The foot throttle in this one seems kind of stiff and hard to use. So you end up resorting to using this, which is kind of hard. They also changed the park switch over to this side from over on this side where it used to be. That, and they changed the light switch from a dial to 2 different switches that you had to use. That, and every time you put the seatbelt down this one, you had to turn the park switch off, whereas our old one, as soon as you put the bar down, you'd be able to just drive. But other than that, it's been pretty dependable. We did the 50-hour oil change, but it's due for another one. $318.5 hours. not too bad. Of course we did manage to get a bunch of silage and stuff in here already. This is not really a deluxe model, but it does have a rear wiper, which isn't really necessary. When my dad wanted a new one, he wanted a radio in it, but we ended up going through Farmer's Store, and well, this was the cheapest model that we could get. So far it's been pretty good. Of course I gotta replace the light right there. That broke when my grandpa was unloading a corn head out of the back of his truck, chopper head. Came over the side of the truck and it smashed into the light, broke it. Isn't that just minty?